Welcome to Center Hice Productions. It is June 14th, 2023, part 2 of my mock draft from 11 to 22. The picks are, and yes, we're going to make this quickly. Plus, we have basically a news item that will speak a little about. Tony Marinaro brought it out. Junkie spoke of it as well. Speaking of Tony's show, where we both seen it, and I'm going to speak on it as well. So anyway, starting at number 11, we got D. Moore going to Vancouver. At number 12, we've got Perreault going to Arizona. At 13, we have Yager going to Pittsburgh. Barlow going to Buffalo. And Yager going to Pittsburgh at 14. And at 15, we have Edward Sandin going to Nashville. At 16, we have Matt Wood going to Calgary. At 17, this is my heartbreaker because this is the guy I was hoping Montreal's second pick would be, and it's Quentin Musty. I think he's only going to go earlier myself, that we're not going to be able to catch him. And I got him going at 17 to Detroit. At 18, we got A. Crystal going to the Jets. 19, I didn't quite catch what team was picking at 19, but S. Han Jack is who I got going there. At number 20, Tom Willard going to Chicago on their second pick. At 21, we've got Riley Hedge going to Seattle. And at 22, we got Nate Danielson going to Minnesota. And that's where we're going to stop as far as the picks. Whoops, sorry for that little maneuver. So that ends our part 2 of where I'm processing. There will be a part 3, and that will be from 23 to 32. I had to break this down into 3 sections. Mind you, like I said, the first part was the most important in projections to me. Okay, so a lot could happen. There could definitely be some movement within the way the orders those picked. That's just kind of going with one scouting unit's list of how those players would rank. And I didn't really, other than a couple little juggled spots I made, maybe 4 or 5. Anyway, so next, the big topic is the 2 staff medical people that were fired yesterday by the Montreal Canadiens, or let's say relieved. We know what that means, fired. And really, this was coming. There was no and, ifs, and buts. This was coming. Something had to give for the ice time for man hours, as they call it, I guess, on the ice. That we had more injuries and problems and we set a record, and that's bad. That's even under our new management. But of course, they're just having to figure out this mess. So since they brought their own coaching in, it's kind of, and their own scouting team, it was a matter of time where they're going to put their own stamp on the medical staffing, because these guys were projected at being very good at, let's say, emergency situations. These 2 guys, they were very quality guys, don't get us wrong. They were very good, probably top in line when it comes to handling emergencies on the ice that needed to be handled. Problem was, what we seemed to be lacking in that trainer field, the medical trainers, was what we had to improve on. And it was evident that players looked like they were making a lot of their own decisions and coming back too soon. And this would kill your man hours on the ice with injuries up the yin yang. So I think it was something that Gordon and Hughes looked into and got their information, and it may not be finished. But, however, those might be the 2 most important people. Probably they had to have known where to axe that. So I expect that Gordon will bring from whether Boston or New York, people he's had in those positions to bring us up to speed, because we got to get better at the therapy end of things. We've got to get better. Our medical team trainers have got to get better at diagnosing injuries a bit better and following what doctors say, those type of things. And I think that's where we were lacking. I don't think those two gentlemen had enough experience in that end of things. They were great, like I said, under emergency situations, which was revealed, from Stu Cowan on Tony Marinara's show. So no surprise, I send my condolences to them. It's never good to be fired. Not a fun feeling, and sometimes you can be the best worker, but they did manage to stay 19 years in Montreal, one of them. So you got to be doing something right, but something wrong. You look at, I hate to say this, the last 20 some odd years, and we kind of did take a nosedive in that department. So something went wrong in there. And I just believe that it had to have been the influence that players were getting a little bit too much, like Brendan Gallagher's, when they should have been kept out of the lineup. They're getting a little too much say, the Monahans, with knowing how serious some of those broken legs and stuff are, and feet. They might want to play a game. If they're not healthy enough to play, they need to stay out because the injury gets worse if you don't. And a lot of us who've played know that. It's you're better off staying on. And I understand fully because I've kept myself in games when I played when I shouldn't have. It took a lot. It took doctors to finally make me stop, sort of. Anyway, so I get it. I get where that mentality comes. You want to be out there on the ice, and it's hard, but we're talking the big leagues here, and I think this is where decisions have to be made by really good medical training staff. So I think Gordon and Hughes are on the right step forward with this, right direction. And don't be surprised whatsoever if you see a couple of people that were from Gordon's crew when he was in New York or Boston. I wouldn't be one bit surprised if they're going to put their stamp on Montreal, on this team, and get things in the right direction. This has to be fixed. So, with that being said, like I say, my sympathy goes with those two gentlemen. I'm sure they will find work, but prayers are with them. It's just not a fun thing to see go through. So, with that being said, that is the end of part 2. We will also be bringing up another couple of topics because, I've been talking about Pierre-Luc Dubois for quite some time. Now I'm going to bring him up in the third episode, part 3. So you'll see my spin. I've been talking about this for a while, and I think people are starting to figure out what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm saying in part 3. And it's nice to see that others are saying it, because I've been the one guy who has been saying this all the way through, while some other people are promoting them. Quite a few. And I'm sorry, I've stand firm and stuck to my guns. Anyway, that being said, I thank you for joining me. Let me know what your opinions are, as well. And this is just a mock draft. Again, part 2 for me wasn't as serious. Don't be one bit surprised if this section, especially, there's a lot of different movement going on. I just hate to see Musty go, but I think he's going to go before we get a crack at him. Anywho, please hit the likes and subscribes. Get your family members and friends to join. That helps us grow. We're trying to grow this channel and make a nice community here. And I want to thank you again. And where does the puck drop first? Here at Center Ice. And we get to the heart of the issues. We don't put spins just to sweeten the air. We tell it like it is on this network. All right. So, and your opinions are more than welcome here. Just do not bully anyone, because that's unacceptable. All right. Thank you. And hit the likes and subscribes, and we will catch you in part 3. God bless you all. Thank you for joining me.